Time Capsule. Life's an everyday adventure. That's my philosophy. I was the last one to eat breakfast today. As I ate my toast and jam, I finally noticed what I was hearing was not my parents chatting. It was my father reading a story from the newspaper to my mother. This was no ordinary story. It was an extraordinary story. Scientists had just discovered animal bones in Africa that are older than dinosaur bones. Wow! My father finished reading the article, and we all began to speak at once. How is it possible to be older than dinosaurs? That is truly amazing, dear.
I wonder what they'll discover next.
We talked for a while until my father found some more interesting things in the paper.
Apparently, on this day in 1869, invisible ink was discovered. Oh, and wait! 30 years ago today, the world's biggest music festival ended.
Today was a busy day in history, I thought to myself. Then I began to think more about history. Mr. Father, today will be history tomorrow, right? And this morning will be history this afternoon too, I asked. My father smiled and answered,
You are absolutely correct, Miss Molly. Excellent thinking.
As we continued to chat more about history, I realized history is always being created. There is no end to it. My toes tingled in my moccasins with each second that passed. Then my father asked if I wanted to capture today's history. I answered as he expected. Yahoo! My father said the best way to gather the history of a day was to build a time capsule. I wasn't exactly sure what that was until he explained that we would put little reminders of today in a box to look at later. That was a time capsule. I couldn't wait to get started. First, we cut out the articles from the newspaper about the dinosaur bones, the invisible ink inventor, and the ending of the music festival. We put them in my backpack and thought about what to do next. We decided to go outside to get some fresh air and exercise. I was doing cartwheels from one side of the backyard to the other when my father asked if I wanted to make history. I responded with another Yahoo! He challenged me to try something new, a one-armed cartwheel. My father was really good at sports when he was young, and he said he loved doing these but hadn't done one in a while. He took off his tie and tried a regular cartwheel, then a one-armed one. He could still do it. I was next. I tried a couple more regular cartwheels, then I too tried with only one arm on the ground. I did it! History was made in the backyard. I ran in to get some paper and markers to draw the event so we could always remember our success today. As we sat under the tree while I drew, the dog looked at us as if she wanted to make history today too. We thought for a moment, then had a great idea. Our dog was a really smart dog and knew some tricks, but she never learned how to roll over. Today was the day we would teach her. We got her to sit and lay down, then tried and tried to get her to roll over. My father and I each demonstrated by rolling on the ground, but she just looked at us. Then, all of a sudden, she did it. I quickly drew the dog rolling over and titled the drawing, Today. This day was already filling up with history, but it was time for a break. We found my mother and all walked to the ice cream shop for an afternoon treat. I had so many favorites, but I decided to continue to make history. I ordered an ice cream with the most chocolate anyone could ever get on one cone. Double chocolate ice cream with chocolate chips and chocolate sprinkles. Delicious! It looked so good, my parents decided to make history with me and order the same thing. On a napkin from the ice cream shop, my father wrote down our historic order. Now that we had so much history from our day, we needed to put it all somewhere. My father and I went to his workbench in the garage to build something. We decided the things for our time capsule would be best kept in a box. So my father and I spent the rest of the afternoon building a box. It was my first time building a wooden box, and my father's first time building a pink one. One more bit of history for the day. When the paint was dry, I was ready for bed. My father and I placed everything from our day in the pink time capsule, and I placed it under my bed so I could discover it sometime in the future. We both smiled as I said, "Today was more than just another day. It was historic." Building a time capsule is a great way to remember that history happens every day. Molly Moccasins, Everyday Adventurer.